It feels good to be me. Every time I breathe, everywhere I go, and I always know that I'm always me. Feels good to be free. Have the world at my feet. Everywhere I go, and I always...
They're rolling in the deep.
Can you meet me here?
What do you do? Deep.
Can you meet
There's
me
a fire.
here?
Hey! Oh, hey! No, it's okay. It's No Pill Friday with Audrey Stewart and referee Danny Dunn, who keeps us on track. And by us, it's just me today.
Just Audrey.
You guys.
My toughest challenge yet.
Your toughest challenge yet. Me. It looks like I'm about to beat you up and steal your lunch money, but you might beat me up right back with that shaved head.
It looks like I'm just like texting, but I'm trying to find the...
What if the whole time
thing.
Danny was just texting
Like
and he was a rap? And I'd be like,
yeah.
what if like this whole podcast
yeah.
we were just texting? Everyone's like, then we would stop listening.
I'm like, sorry, what'd you say?
Well, guess what? This podcast is releasing in my favorite month of my favorite holiday, my favorite month, October.
Is October actually your favorite holiday?
Favorite month is October.
Halloween your
is my favorite holiday.
Why?
I just love scary stories.
Audrey, why?
Audrey, tell us why.
Audrey, why?
Tell us why. I love scary stories.
Okay.
I love when it gets cold out. I love when it's gray. I'm sick and tired of the sunny California. If it's sunny one more time, I'm going to punch myself in the face and violently scream out.
Uh-huh.
Just kidding. And I also love, well, I was going to say when leaves change colors, but they don't really do that here. It sounds like I hate LA. It sounds like I do, but I'll tell you why in a second. I don't hate LA, but I had an unfortunate event just happen. But I also love, I don't know. It just like I love decorations, the Halloween decorations, and I'm going home.
Give me like your three favorite things you like about October.
Okay, so I'm from a historic.
Number three.
Yes.
Starting with number three.
So I live in a historic neighborhood in Indianapolis called Irvington. It's the oldest neighborhood in Indiana, and they have ghost tours. It's Halloween town during Halloween. There's Halloween decoration competition. We're doing the vampire run. My dad and I are doing the vampire run, and all my siblings are flying home, and we're all doing costumes together.
You said that like everyone knows what a vampire run is.
You don't know what the vampire run is?
We're doing the vampire run.
During Halloween, you just like dress up in costumes, and like the main guy running is a vampire, and we all follow him into victory.
What do you mean the main guy running?
5K. You dress up as a vampire.
Oh, a 5K.
Yeah.
Okay. Jake, were you getting that? Yeah. Really? Yeah. Oh.
Danny,
well,
you need
I'm
to take
sorry.
your pill.
Maybe Jake should be the ref. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Okay.
But that's
number three.
That's like that's more than three. But also just seasons, air, candy.
I like the clothes you get to wear in fall when it's cooler.
Like this.
I like we got our baggy sweatshirt pod. I like wearing baggy sweatshirts. I like it when I get to wear like a sweatshirt and shorts.
Yes.
Is this interesting? I like it when I get to wear a sweatshirt.
People are already
and
clicking
shorts.
off, but no.
That's what I like.
That's what I like. But like I said, I like the
wearing.
scary stories the most. And that is why we have decided, more so I told Dan, and he was like, okay, to do scary stories on this podcast for the month of October. And I think it's going to be really fun because we have it's going to be us reading some scary stories that we found on Reddit. And also we'll have some guests calling in that have ADHD with scary stories that involve people with ADHD. A lot of serial killers had ADHD. A lot of crime happens in ADHD because people with ADHD are impulsive. So it's relative.
You have some scary stories just in your own life, don't you?
Yeah.
And I'm excited to hear those.
And my aunt, too. My aunt is coming on the podcast next week. And her scary story, it'll give you a fright.
Shout out Aunt Jill.
I'm like, what's wrong with me today?
Okay, we got scary stories. We got Audrey's scary stories.
And that's what we have to look forward to. We will talk about the weeks that Danny and I just had real quick up top, though, before we begin.
You have like huge news.
Because it's been huge news. I'm in a movie.
Netflix
movie. No, I'm just kidding. I wish. My car's in pieces. It was totaled. That's that's the news.
But like proper news, like it was on the news.
Oh, no, it was on the news. That's my credit. My TV credit is my car was on the news.
Is Wish TV.
It was Wish TV and the Citizen app. Those are my two credits.
You might know her from Stand Up Around Town and the Citizens app.
And being cut from NBC. So
Did you get cut?
No, I was on that NBC stand-up show.
I was gonna say my mom watched you on NBC.
Yeah, it was like me being like saying one bit, and then Kenan Thompson saying, "I hate when you laugh at your jokes," and then cut to me backstage saying, "Well, that's what makes me," and then they cut me.
What would you change about that?
I don't know. I think I was year 2 into stand-up. I was like, wee, I'm going to be famous. I wore a dress, and I'd never wear dresses.
Didn't they make you wear a dress?
Kind of like, it was all just like, I never disagreed with it. But yeah. I mean, like, so no, I can't blame NBC for that because I like the people who work at NBC a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you're watching
I've heard they're awesome.
I heard they have shows.
I've heard they're so.
We're willing to be on.
I've heard they're like so cool.
Yeah, no, I think it was just they had so much talent to deal with, and it was like they saw my viral clips when I did the Pretty Funny Women, and I was in the dress, and they were like, it was so funny when you're stomping around in your dress talking about the things you do, and I'm like, I guess that is pretty funny.
Sure.
But I didn't feel quite right in it, so it was just. But I was also really new to stand up.
Yeah.
So. Okay, here's what happened besides Kenan Thompson hating my laugh. What if I just broke down and started whimpering, crying in the mic?
Emmy nominated Kenan Thompson.
Yes, and I do like him. I think he's great. I think he just didn't like my laugh at the time.
And that's okay.
And I
like
think I laughed a lot at my jokes. I was
nervous. Were you nervous?
I was on national television.
Yeah.
I was like, ah! Everyone was like, what the fuck is going on up there?
Was it fun?
Yeah, it was a blast.
Did you have fun doing it?
Yeah.
Are you still in touch with anyone you met while you were doing it?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
And Morgan J did it.
Okay.
We'll have to have her on the pod. Andrea Lopez. She moved to LA. She does a lot of impressions. She's so funny.
Okay, I don't think I know.
She should have been on SNL. She'll be on SNL one day. But okay. So, anyways, my car.
Your car.
I just want everyone to know. Let me give you the background. Almost a year and a half ago. No, a year and 3 months ago. I had to I had a new car because a car before that, I was driving. Someone hit me on my driver's side. The airbags knocked me out.
Knocked you unconscious?
Unconscious. And then
What?
I came back. Oh, yeah. Then I came back to it. I had like seatbelt marks and like a bruise, whatever. And the girl came to my window, was like screaming. Turns out she's a guitar playing comedian. So I saw her later at a show. I'm like, fucking LA. Of course I'm getting hit by someone I'm on a lineup with 2 years later.
We've all been in a hit and run with a guitar playing comedian.
We've all been in a hit and run with a guitar playing comedian.
It's like the title of a book.
It is. It really is. I don't know what that was.
Like a YA novel. Okay, so she hits you on the driver's side.
She hits me.
Knocks you out.
Knocks me out.
I didn't know any of this.
And then apparently, like, I was turning left in an illegal. I was like, bitch, I didn't even know what happened.
Apparently,
really.
I was doing something.
Apparently, I was on the wrong
illegal.
side of the road.
What does that
Apparently,
even
I was driving
mean?
backwards. No, I was kidding. No. Well, she hits me, and whatever. I come to it. She's screaming, freaking out. I'm fine. We get out. She's upset. We're wearing the same jeans. So I said, I'm a little out of it. I said, hey, we're wearing the same jeans.
Is that the first thing you said to her?
She starts crying. And then the ambulance comes because someone called the ambulance right on spot because they saw I got hit on my side. Ambulance comes out. I'm not even kidding you. This is where all the bits of What Sports You Play came about.
Yeah.
The ambulance gets out and says, did I row with you? Like, or did you row in college?
What?
Not did I row with you. Did you row in college?
Were the Winklevoss twins the ambulance drivers?
Who?
Shout out Winklevoss twins.
Who are the Winklevoss twins?
Never mind. Keep going.
Okay. Are they like famous rowing? Why did you say?
Jake, do you know the Winklevoss twins?
Yeah, it's what Mark Zuckerberg stole Facebook from, right?
Well, allegedly.
And now they're EMTs?
Yes.
That's so sad.
Yeah, well.
They get
He
Facebook
stole
jacked
Harvard
up
from
from them, and now they're EMTs.
Now they're EMTs in Los Angeles, and no one should fact check that. All right. Keep going.
Okay.
So he goes, did I row with you?
Yeah,
or
he goes,
she goes, did I row with you?
It was boy. He goes, no, I fucked that up. He asked. He said, do I know you? Did you row in college? I was like.
And you're bleeding from your head?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm not bleeding, but I have like a bruise and a seatbelt mark.
You're contused.
I'm a little out of it. And I'm like, and I hear ringing. My ears are ringing.
Was it NBC calling you to tell you that they didn't like your laugh?
They didn't like Could you imagine?
Hey, I just want to remind you that we hated
your laugh. I'm like, I just got into terrible. This was even before NBC.
Okay.
That's when I first moved to LA. And so whatever, he says that, and I'm like, no, I didn't row in college. He was like, you didn't row?
You?
I was like, no,
didn't
I went
row?
to Indiana University and I didn't row. He's like, oh, well then no, I wouldn't know you. I was like, okay. He's like,
okay, that's like, not the priority here.
He's like, we're gonna check you out in the ambulance. I said, I'm not taking an ambulance. And he was like, well, I feel like you should. I was like, I'm not going to. It's too expensive. He's like, well, you probably need to go to the ER. And I'm like, well, then I'll wait for my friends to take me. So my car is totaled. ambulance waits until my friends get there, and a police officer is on the scene as well.
I know it's probably with your best intention in mind, but I like that the ambulance driver is like, "You sure you don't want to take the ambulance?"
Yeah, he's literally like,
It's like right here. Like I
know, and
it's
I was
like real.
I don't have
It's really fun.
$4,000
Yeah,
for
they're
that,
so
or wherever the
expensive.
fuck they are, because I knew I like my ears ringing were like the really only, and my head was throbbing, but the ears ring were the only thing that really concerned me. But I was like,
Yeah,
I think I'm in shock. I could get out of this, whatever.
I can get out of shock.
But then it gets
I can
worse.
break
The
this.
officer meets us on site, and I think my roommates will remember this too. The officer meets us on site. We're answering questions too before I can.
Your
even
roommates
leave.
have showed up.
Yeah, they're coming. I have a ticket. The officer gives me a ticket on top of my totaled car because I have
what?
an Indiana driver's license, because he asked to see my license. And I give him my Indiana driver's license.
That's so lame.
And he's like, "I'm so sorry, I'm going to have to write you a ticket." I was like, "Why?" He was like, "You don't have a California license." I said, "I just
driver's license.
fucking moved here." He's like, "Have you been here for more than like 6 months?" I was like, "Yes." And he was like, "Well, you should have a California driver's license." Tickets me on top of a totaled car.
This is not an endorsement of LA's public service.
No. And then I go to the ER to get checked out, and the doctor's like, "Wow." He's like, "You don't even have a concussion." He's like, "You just have seatbelt burns." He's like, "Take Advil, whatever." And like, he said I got knocked out where like boxers or like whatever, like I had a certain part of my head with it, like it knocks you out where a boxer will knock you out. He said I got
Sure.
lucky. And
Another sport comparison.
yeah,
for you?
he said if anything
Hey,
I
are
had
you
a
a
minor.
boxer? No.
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 Yeah,
Been in
he's
an
like, "Hey, do you box?" I'm like,
box?
"What is with this today?"
What do you like? What do you like? A cage fighter or something?
He's like, "I
no.
swear to God, you're a boxer. You've been in here many times." I'm like, "You're thinking of a man in a man bun."
He's like, what a waste of talent.
He's like, "What a way." So I didn't even really have a concussion. So that was a miraculous, just like seatbelt burns. Deemed, I think, like what? It was 80-20, 80% her fault, 20% my fault, something.
Were you
whatever.
doing an illegal left turn?
I don't really I think
Who's
that there
to
was a
s- who's
bus
to
lane, and
say?
I wasn't turning from left from the bus lane because I didn't think we could turn left from the bus lane. I thought we had to turn from the latest, and she tried to get around me. She was on her phone too, I know it, and she hit me so fucking hard. I'm lucky as fuck.
Okay.
Guitar playing comedian, and so mean to me, but like, no. And then she's like, "My Mazda." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up. We're in the same jeans."
My Mazda.
I'm like, "My fucking ugly ass, whatever. I took a loan out for it." And so then I'm owing a bunch of money, whatever. And then I finally get a new car.
You're owing money to her or to the insurance company?
Just like pay off the loan and whatever for the car.
But is your insurance covering it?
Some of it, not all of it. So I had to get I had to pay off a lot. But then I finally get another car from CarMax, okay?
Oh, cool.
Nice car, Nissan
And
Sentra,
that's where I'd like to
2000.
take a break to shout out to our sponsor, CarMax.
CarMax, thank you so much, you motherfuckers. Okay, so here's the.
They gave us all H2 Hummers, Jake,
H2.
Audrey, and I. Thank you, CarMax.
Thank you, CarMax.
All right.
And this is a scary story in itself, so this counts for
This is a great
Halloween Spooktober. Am I drowning this on for too
No,
long?
I'm loving this.
Okay,
Jake,
so
are you loving this?
Jake's like, "I'm loving it." He's like, on his own.
Jake, do you
Jake-
like us?
Jake, is this funny and fun to you?
I'm having a fun time, guys.
All right, thank God. Thank God, Jake. Okay, so I have a 2008 Nissan Sentra. All right, finally getting back on my feet. Life is good. I'm 2 years in the Nissan Sentra. Okay, we're having a good time. Then last year around this time, I park outside my partner's house on Fountain Avenue, and a car right next to my legally parked car gets in an accident, flips over another car, and then flips into my car, totaling it. And then we hear commotion. I'm like, "Sucks for that person." Same scenario. Walk out to my car the next morning. My car is in pieces on Fountain Avenue. And people are walking their dogs. Ooh. I'm like,
Is there still like an overturned car?
no, it's all cleaned up. It all happened in the wee hours. So then I just happened to be in the aftermath, and then same thing.
That's a great question for like when you see car chases and stuff online, like what happens to those cars
So I'll tell you.
that are hit?
Yeah, so I'll tell you. Police reports. Where's my purse?
I don't know. I don't know.
This is what was left. I love how I just have it in my purse. Oh, wait.
Please tell me it's a little note.
No, I took it. Oh, wait. No, it's right here. No, I took it out.
When you said that you got a ticket for having an Indiana driver's license, I still have one. I've had one. I've lived in LA for 3 years, and I still have one.
No, I still haven't changed it even after the ticket. I just got a California state ID, and I'm going to tell them I have dual citizenship.
That should do it. They won't have any more questions after that. Checks out. Her papers are clean.
Checks out.
I really think it's so funny that the ambulance driver was like, didn't I row crew with you?
Oh, they're like one of the first things. Now, are you okay?
And you're like, no. And he's like, I guess I don't know you. And then it makes it sound like he was just going to take off.
That's where my first viral bit came from the Laugh Factory.
Really?
When I was like, everyone's asking me, what sports do I play? And whatever. That's
I remember
from
that
him.
bit.
He gave me that inspiration for that bit.
Okay. So you don't have the note.
Anyways, I walk out. There's a police report with a police number from the West Hollywood police station. I give him a ring. What happened to my car? And they were like, what do you mean? I was like, I have the report number. They're like, what's the number? And then I told them, they're like, oh, yeah. Someone was really injured. I was like, what happened to my car? They were like, yeah, someone flipped over another car into your car. It looks like, are you the Nissan Sentra? I'm like, yeah, I was the Nissan Sentra.
I used to be.
Used to be.
I used to
and
be.
And Geico's all like, and I didn't have Gap insurance. So what happened was they gave me what my car was worth, and it paid off exactly the rest of my loan. So I was left with $0. So I can't work because now I'm left with $0 and I can't get a car, and I'm a nanny.
Is that what Gap insurance is?
Yep.
I thought Gap insurance was like in between
Nope.
coverage.
You need Gap insurance out in the city. If you have a loan, you have to get Gap insurance. I learned the roughest way. Got $0. I was like, now I can't nanny. Now I can't make it to these stand-up shows. And then my nanny family goes, oh, you can have our old car. Volkswagen Jetta, 2008. We want to get a new Audi anyways.
That's incredible.
So nice. I'm thinking, no car payments on this car. Hallelujah. It's a car.
Hallelujah.
2008 Volkswagen Jetta, sunroof. And I'm like, I'm fucking living
the universe
dream.
has upgraded you.
The universe upgraded me. Still 2008, but
universal upgrade.
sunroof. And life is good. I'm back on my feet.
Also,
it's been
where
1
was
year.
CarMax in that moment? I wonder.
So my loan got paid off. So Geico happened to give me the exact amount I owed in CarMax. I don't know if they had a mutual decision agreement, but it paid off, and then that was all I got.
Okay. So you have this.
So this new Volkswagen Jetta. Life is good. I have no car payments. I'm actually saving money. It's like, I'm like, whoa. We'll be right back after this break. It's just me screaming on the break. I'm like, ah! Okay. No,
So that was 1 year ago.
Yeah, that was one. It was almost exactly a year to this
That
accident.
was almost exactly 1 year ago,
Yes.
where your car was totaled on the street on Fountain Boulevard.
Yes.
You've recently acquired, after that accident,
Yes.
this Volkswagen.
Yes.
And now here we are a year later. What happened like last weekend?
Okay, Wednesday.
Wednesday. Last Wednesday.
This past Wednesday. Sorry. This past Wednesday.
Oh.
And that's our segment, Audrey Burps. Okay, last Wednesday, I park at my partner's house. But you know what? Away from Fountain, because I'm scarred.
Are you starting to think that Veronica's the problem?
I'm starting to think she's bad luck. She thinks I have the bad luck. I think it might be. If you're listening. No, I'm just kidding. How about that for some karma? Okay,
Nice.
Anyways, that was...
You hear that, NBC?
Did you hear that, Keenan? He's like, still stand by my decision. hate everything about it. I'm just kidding. But same situation. I parked in a really nice residential neighborhood a block away from her from Fountain, because I'm so scarred. So I park in the nicest part just to avoid that.
She still lives on Fountain Boulevard.
Oh, she lives on Oh,
We shouldn't.
say
Should we?
that.
She lives.
I won't say anything.
She lives deep into Echo Park.
She
Keep
lives
going.
in deep Echo Park. So I live in the nice area of her neighborhood, and I park it, go inside, having a movie night. It's really quite nice.
What movie?
It was American Horror Story. We were just watching American Horror Story.
All right, already holes in your story.
Yeah.
Okay, TV show night. Sounds great. So you're having a
Sounds like you're not telling the truth.
Sounds like
you're lying.
Sounds like you're already lying. Okay, so you're having a TV show night.
You're having a God damn it! It's just easier to say movie night, TV show night. Anyways, and we hear helicopters, and we hear police sirens, and we hear ambulances, and we get notified on the Citizen app. And I'm like, oh,
what's the
God.
Citizen app? I don't know that.
Citizen app. I go through periods where I delete it and undelete it, but I have footage from. We can try to see if Wolf can put it up from the accident. But
what is it?
Citizen app is an app that shows you crime around your area.
Oh, really?
So if you heard a helicopter, it would alert you and let you know
what's going on.
Because people listen to radio or police radio.
Oh, so I follow a Twitter account that's like the police scanner in my area.
Yeah.
Same thing?
Same thing. But
Okay.
this is like so weird and intense. It's like, man assaulting a woman with a broom. Run.
Oh,
And
wow.
you're like, fuck. And
Run. I like that there's action included.
yeah, run. And it shows you like live videos from the scene. So we're like even seeing, and I'm like, God, that sucks. Whatever. Go to bed peacefully. Next morning, wake up. That was my car. That was on the Citizen app.
What happened to your car?
It's in smithereens. A carjacker stole an
It's been
SUV,
blown to smithereens.
ripped down this nice residential neighborhood, could have hit any of the cars in the residential neighborhood, plows into my car, misses a Prius. We were all like, fuck this Prius, hits a 2021 Lexus, and then decides, let me just go hit that Volkswagen again. Backs up from this is all in the police report. Backs up the 21 Lexus, hits my Volkswagen again, moving my Volkswagen. Like when I found my car, it wasn't even where I parked it. It was moved. It was completely moved, and it was blocking a residential driveway.
Did you get a ticket?
That would be so funny. Could you imagine?
You can't park here.
You can't. Could you imagine? I would literally be like, the police forces, we're done. That
would be the thing that
would
would do it
we've
for
been
you.
done with them for a hot minute. But
This is where I draw the line.
This is where I draw. No, but I
Long ago.
literally was like, I couldn't believe it. And the same thing, police report, and then the police officer, sheriff. It was so bad. A sheriff met me on site. He's like, I'll come and meet and discuss with you what happened. And neighbors were walking by and they were like, oh my God, we heard the whole thing. It was the worst sound.
That's the sheriff coming to meet you is in my head is the equivalent of like a surgery, the doctor himself coming out to give you news, and you're like, this is gonna be the worst.
This is gonna be bad. And so a bunch of people from the neighborhood literally were all like walking by, like everyone kept acting like we didn't hear it. They're like, oh, this was your car? You had no idea. And everyone's all hyped up. Like they said it sounded like people in the building were scared for their life because that crash was so loud that they thought there was like everyone was like gonna die. Like it was like
They thought it was like the big one,
Yeah.
a big earthquake.
something crazy. People just panicked when they heard it and immediately looked and saw it and ran out. And that's how people saw the carjacker. So it's just like, and it's one of the, let me add this in. I know this
he was
whole
a carjacker,
podcast
he
now
stole a
right
car?
now is about my
No, keep going.
carjacking. He stole the car that hit me. So here's the
He
other.
stole the car that hit me.
He stole the car that hit me, and they found him at Whole Foods.
They found him at
He
Whole
said,
Foods?
I hit her car. I'm going to jail. I'm on parole. Might as well have a $20 chicken from Whole Foods as my last
You
fucking
go to that.
meal.
He go get that hot bar.
He got that hot
He
bar.
got that hot bar.
He said that's going to be my last
He
meal.
got that vegan lasagna from Whole Foods.
The vegan lasagna, hot bar. And so then you're going to die too
Jake,
because
Whole Foods hot bar very expensive.
extremely. Should we go after? Do we get lunch?
No, it's really expensive.
Oh.
I'd rather go to Cava again.
Should we go somewhere else for lunch? You want to go to lunch after this?
Yeah, sure.
You want to come with us, Jay? Okay,
Jay,
great.
come to lunch with
Sounds
us,
like
man.
we're going to go to lunch after
I make
this.
Audrey go to Cava after every episode.
Literally every day. I could shit it out in my dreams.
The last 4 times we've gotten lunch, I made her go to Cava.
It's true. Okay,
I
enough
love
about our
Cava.
lunching. Okay, I'll tell this real quick because I know it's been taking up our whole time.
I've had a great time.
So this is where I'm not the only one in the bad luck. So when the car hit me, I forgot to add this. When my car got moved, it hit into another car, a Chevy. I talked to the owner of that car. He said, this was my rental car. I had just gotten in a really bad accident 2 weeks prior. And I said, no. The 2021 Lexus, brand new Lexus, they just bought it. They said, this is our parking garage. We always park in the parking garage. There was a leak in our spot, and our landlord said, why don't you just park on the street for the night?
Oh, no.
I said, no. And they said, yep. And then I said, this is my second totaled car, and it's almost my year anniversary. And then we got drunk at the Abbey after.
You and all those people?
No, me and Veronica
that
just
would've
took
been
the day off.
like a TV show
That would
scene.
have been a TV show. Veronica took the day off. I took the day off, and we went to the Abbey, got drunk, and saw other people that had bad news. That was actually so funny.
What was their bad news?
Our friend Bridget was at the gyno and had a mole on her stomach, and
When you said she was at the gyno, I got so scared that it was going to be something terrible.
they think
Is
the
it?
mole might be cancerous. So
Is she
she was
okay?
drinking, and the other guy just flew in and was like, I'm having an awful time, and blah. And so we were all just like drinking our misery.
Oh, no.
It was actually a really fun day, though.
Okay.
And then I had Benihana's for dinner that night.
Okay, so all of your cars got into accidents
Yeah.
from the same accident.
Yeah.
Why was that guy stealing cars? Do you know?
Probably for money. So we can't pursue him.
Oh, he was like jacking cars to then.
Oh, he's to steal them.
To steal, sell,
he was trying to
stripper
escape
parts.
the police. That's why he ripped through, and that's why the police were there so
Got
fast.
it.
He was being chased by the police. That's why there was already a helicopter.
Dang.
Like I was a casualty in car chase.
Can you find silver linings in things like this? Like do you think it's like, oh, this is a good, this is for a reason kind of thing?
My horn was broken and my mirror was just shattered out by someone, so now I'm going to blame it on the accident. I included it. Guy goes on the phone with me and I was like, yeah, the mirror. Oh, I should
Maybe you should. Let's wait until that check clears.
Check. Well, and that was a joke.
Let's wait until that Geico check clears.
Wolf, cut that out. If you're listening to this playback, Wolf, cut that out.
Cut back in right here.
But no.
Are you someone who can find silver linings in accidents
Yeah, I
like
think
that?
I would have crashed in that car and maybe been injured because the horn
Why?
wasn't working, and it was going to be so much money to fix it. And
How much?
Like $400
to fix the horn.
Yeah, but I guess now this is way worse. But imagine if I fixed the horn and then got in the accident.
Yeah,
I don't know. I believe that maybe they hit that car because maybe if they didn't hit that car, the next day I would have died in a car accident in that car.
That's how you look at things.
Yeah, I think everything happens for a reason, for sure.
I think that's a beautiful perspective.
Is that how you look at things?
I try to, yes.
What if you're like, fuck no? That's
No, I think you can do that. I think you can something bad happens to you. Obviously, not like something like that level of badness happens to you.
Yeah.
And I think you can choose to find, if you're patient enough, it led me to this place.
Yeah.
I think you kind of see what you want to see.
Right.
You know?
I think it's true.
Right?
Yeah. Do you believe that, Jake?
You have to, because it's like something that shit happens to you. You have to be able to make yourself laugh or find some kind of positive.
Right.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's a good way to say it. It's like I'd rather believe that way if I'm right or wrong, because it's like a nicer way to live, I think.
I agree. I think that's the best way to put it. And I think, we live in the city, and I think what scared me the most though was the officer that met us on site was saying how common this is becoming in LA. He was like, I wish I could tell you that, I'm so shocked for you and surprised. He was like,
because Fast 9 just came out.
And we were in a nice,
carjackings
residential.
go up when Fast and Furious
speed
movies come out.
racing, carjacking. He said that the crime in LA is just getting, out of control. I was like, all right, have a good day, sir.
It's weird that he's like,
I'm a woman in LA, bye.
It's weird that he's dumping on you. He's like, this isn't even
Oh, Veronica was standing there too.
This is one of many things I'm dealing with in your.
He just said, guess where I just came from? We were like, where? He's like, a burglary. And it wasn't even 8 a.m. It was not even 8 a.m. I was like, because I walked up to my car at 6:45 a.m.
That's so weird that he would tell you that.
He's like, anyways.
You wouldn't believe what I'm dealing with.
He's like,
double homicide.
Yeah.
Isn't that
He's
nuts?
like, this is still the blood on my jacket.
I need to wash. Can I use your sink?
Yeah. We're like, sir, get going.
I think I agree with you. I think it's nice to see things like that. And I think things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
If you let them.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like if Sputnik was here right now,
he'd love that. He'd kiss my forehead or something.
Yeah, he would.
How is Sputnik? I haven't seen it.
He's doing good. Last time I saw him was, I think, event last week. He was running the security inside, but he's chilling.
Yeah.
Friend of the pod, Sputnik.
Yeah. If you would have listened, you would know, but we know how our friends are. You just listen to one podcast for 10 minutes and quote one of the things we said in the first 10 minutes and said, love the pod.
I loved that thing you said. Oh, you mean the first thing I said?
I mean the first thing we said in the first 10 minutes.
Now I've had very supportive friends listen.
No, I'm kidding.
Listen to most of the episodes of the podcast. It's very nice.
We've got great friends back home.
We have great friends.
Yeah, we do. It's really nice.
We have great friends.
We have great friends. Okay, should we get into the scary stuff?
Yeah.
Wait, no. What about you? You just cut your hair.
I did cut my hair. Speaking of things happening for a reason, if you let them, I accidentally shaved my head. I cut my hair. And anyone who's watched previous episodes of the podcast would probably be like, oh, yeah, no, that makes sense. No one's ever surprised when I tell them I cut my hair.
Yeah.
I cut my own hair. They're like, oh, yeah, okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It tracks.
Wait, you didn't cut your own hair?
I cut my own hair. I cut my hair.
Oh, God.
Regularly.
Oh.
That's what I mean.
That's what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm the one who does it.
It looks great. It looks even. What's the scar on the back of your head?
I hit it on a diving board a long time ago.
Because you have ADHD and you weren't paying attention?
I was doing a backflip. I was doing backflips at a pool off a diving board. And my dad said, no more backflips. And I said, one more backflip.
No.
Did a backflip, hit it on the diving board, cracked that girl open.
No. Crack that girl right open.
Went to the ER.
No.
Didn't deal with any silly doctors like you, but they had to like staple it and stitch it back together.
Jeez, little Pete's.
Mm-hmm. It was nice. My dad saved me in the pool. It was very. I think it was like a heroic moment for him.
As you were bleeding out.
There's your silver lining. I got to see how your father would react in a crisis.
That's
And he was great.
funny. Well, if your dad started screaming, he was like,
Like running.
He's like
running
floating away.
around. What are we gonna do? No, he
He's
like.
like sobbing.
I can still
You're like,
remember.
"Dad?"
I was probably like in 5th grade, and I can still remember him just like he like dove in Baywatch style, grabbed me. It was great.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it was
Kind of sexualizing
it
you.
was it was
Slow
so.
motion, took his shirt off, dove right in
When
there.
my
I'm
dad
like,
saved me, it was so fucking hot. But so I was cutting my hair like the.
how are we at time?
He says 38, but we were wrong a couple minutes before we started.
I'm dead.
Probably like 33.
We were.
like 35 minutes more.
I'm dead because that car story took up 33.
I loved every second of it.
I know. Okay, wait.
Okay, so I was cutting my hair.
So your dad's fucking hot when he.
So my dad's the sexy guy, right? And I just wanna. Okay, so.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, and then what are you gonna do? So I'm cutting my hair like 2 nights ago, and I have the wrong guard on, and I just take a chunk like out of like the top. You know, like I leave the top long and I like fade the sides, right? And I had the wrong guard on, and I just took like this huge chunk out of the top of my head, and I was like, shit, man. And so I was like, all right, well, here we go. And then I just shaved everything to that length.
No.
It was like a 2, so I shaved everything to a 2, and then like faded it down to like a 0 from there. And I look beautiful, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I look like I'm on parole. Like I look,
Potentially.
yeah, which is nice because I don't
You look
think
like the guy who jacked my car.
I probably look scared. I probably look a lot scarier than him. I don't really present as like intimidating. So when I look like kind of a little scarier, I kind of like it. People watching are probably like, you don't look scary at all.
Yeah, no.
But I was at Ralph's last night, and I was in the checkout line, and it was at like 1 a.m. It doesn't matter why. And this guy in the checkout line is like, hey, my man. And I look, and he's like, you ever thought about modeling? And I was like, no. For obvious reasons. I was like, no one's ever asked for that. And he's like, I don't know, man. I think you got this sleek look to you.
Holy shit.
And he's like, I just started an agency.
No.
And I'm like, no.
No, but that was your.
No. Let's not even pretend for a second that this is like, yeah, you should do that. But in my head, I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much.
Wait, did you say yes?
I was like, you think I got the look? I think that's what I said. I was so thrown off. He's like, you ever thought about modeling? I'm like, no one's ever wanted that. And then he's like, I don't know, I could see it. And I'm like, you think so? Like a hopeful little like farm boy. I was like, you me?
So?
You think?
Talking about me? You think so?
I have what it takes?
Wait, I'm not kidding you. That's how
Stop it!
what's
Don't
his
take
face
this,
was discovered.
guys.
Like the most famous people in the world get discovered by people walking the street saying that they just started agencies. Dead ass.
Yes, but like,
Do you have his card?
I gave him my phone number.
You gave him your phone number?
I gave him my phone
I'm
number.
actually not well because Danny's pretending like he was like, I said no. And then
I
he's like,
gave him my phone
this is the
number.
nicest thing ever.
It's so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed.
Well, you're not going to
I
tell
was
us that
like-
unless we gave you that option of
I
it.
almost did, and then I stopped. It's so embarrassing.
No,
but I
it's
was
not.
like, well, let me know if I can, support your agency at all. Like, if you need me, like your stuff on Instagram or whatever. And he's like, for sure. Like, let me get your number. And I was like, okay. And I gave it to him.
I'm not well.
It's very embarrassing. I want you to know that I don't have any aspiration to believe that is true. I need you to know that.
Danny, I'm picturing it right now. You in a gray suit with a watch.
Like an actual fitted suit, dude.
And then, like, maybe, like, you scruff out your beard a little bit more. They can always darken
I think
it.
I'm going to grow a beard now that my hair's so
And then
short.
I can picture them, like, maybe you have, like, a hat.
So, like, you're saying I should be fully covered. I should be covered. And then maybe you're wearing, like
I guess I was saying that was not what I meant.
you should be wearing, like, a hat
You should,
and,
like-
like, scuba,
like,
like
for
a scuba mask.
like a beekeeper hat. It'll be, like, for... You'll be a sexy beekeeper.
You could be wearing like a fireman's or like a welding mask. You'd be so good at modeling that. I met this girl who's a beekeeper the other day, and they are doing this. They're actually for real doing a sexy beekeeping calendar. These are the people I meet. I meet model
What the
scouts,
fuck?
sexy beekeepers. No, this girl was doing a sexy beekeeping calendar because their whole thing is that they're trying to show that bees are friends, not foes. Right?
Yeah.
She works.
Yeah,
for,
because we need them to survive.
so they're trying to destigmatize bee culture or bees.
Because people will kill bees.
This is great. I think they're trying to like destigmatize bees
By
and
being hot?
present them as safe by being so fucking.
Why do I picture them like
that
naked with only
bees
a
like
beekeeper
my
head
dad
on? I'm
are
like,
so fucking hot. No, so they like will like they like the picture she showed us was like a guy.
slapped in honey.
It was like covering his
Bees were or the honey?
his penis. He had a bee penis.
Ew, don't say that word, please.
Don't say penis on
I
the pod.
hate that word. It's
Okay.
really weird. Be like peen or no.
That's better.
No.
They were covering.
Say like wang.
They were covering
or
his
like dick.
his region.
Is
Full
that
like
bad? I'm a little kid.
Wang is better
People with
to you.
ADHD, do you know that our maturity levels, like we're like 4 years
Don't
behind.
group yourself.
So technically I'm 24.
That can't be a statistic. Whatever.
Google it.
Hold on. So they put bees over like his lower region, and so it's just like covering him, like picture like an underwear model, but it's bees instead of underwear.
I think it'd freak me out a little bit.
And
I'm
it's
not
on
sure
a-
that's
it's
that
on a
hot.
calendar.
I'd be a little distracted.
It was cool. I thought it was cool.
Yeah. I think it's really cool.
I just thought it was a unique.
No.
I thought
think
it was
it's really
a unique
cool.
idea.
I think it's really
idea.
cool. I think to help the bees is especially cool. I like I told you, my friend Ellie she made a corporation called the B Corp because we should get her on. I don't know if she has.
She made
ADHD.
the B Corp. What is
She
that?
made a company called the B Corporation. It's like $1 million company.
What do they do?
Protect the bees. They protect the bees. And I don't really
Do
know
you
what
know?
else.
Do you know the specifics of that?
Should I Google it real quick?
Yeah, I'll find more pictures of the bee calendar and maybe we can post them somewhere.
Okay.
But it was like guys and girls, and they would be like covered like
Oh my god,
they're in a
Geico
swimsuit, but
literally
it's
just
bees.
emailed me trying to break down. Like,
Are you actually?
are you really? Wait, also,
I don't get stung by bees. Like I can't tell you the last time I got stung.
that
by
would be
bees.
terrifying to find out if you're allergic or not. So,
People really freak out about bees. You shouldn't.
okay, I do have
Bees
this.
are safe.
Not to change the subject, but
You don't want to talk about my modeling career anymore?
no, everyone raise your hand if you think Danny could be a model. It's me and Jake. We're the only two in here.
I'm never gonna believe this. He's like I see like a Christian Dior look to you, and I'm like,
I see it.
but I'm wearing a mask the whole time. We're in Ralph's. I'm wearing a mask.
Wait, that's a good. And the
No,
lower
I think if I
half
pulled
is,
the mask, he would have been like, oh.
the lower half is
Uh,
a good look.
I could be like a mask model.
Danny,
No.
what is this confidence? You need to get your confidence up.
Nope.
Get your confidence up.
Nope. Like right here, sweet spot.
You
Maybe
need to
I think I have nice eyes. Maybe that's it. I have long eyelashes. I could model eyelash jewelry. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's
You've got no. You know what, Tom or
all right.
Danny? Look, I can't even say your name.
Did
That's
you
how
say
hot
Tom?
you are. I'm looking at you and I'm flustered.
Did you say Tom is my dad's name?
Yeah, well, I've been thinking about your dad
I've been thinking
ever
about your-
since that
I'm
save.
thinking about your daddy
I've been
all
thinking about your daddy,
pod.
and I'll tell you what,
All right, what was your
The
thing
moral
that you're gonna
story
say? I
is,
don't want to talk about this
guys,
anymore.
comment if you think Danny
I don't
can
want to.
model.
Please don't do that. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I
Don't
regret
comment anything
everything.
meaning I will personally delete them
regret
before he sees them.
Everything.
But I'm not saying that you will write that.
I thought I was telling a funny story. I don't want this. I don't want what's happening.
Cut. No, just kidding. Okay, then we'll jolt. Okay, so I said on my there's a ghost in here. I said on my Instagram story that we were doing scary stories and for people to email me stories that were scary.
Oh, did they do that?
And I have one
Did they
that
do
came
that?
in and I haven't read it yet.
Did they do that?
And it's from my friend Austin Spar. We went to college together.
Okay.
Wait. Okay, it's titled.
just you reading
it's
it by
in.
yourself.
It's in the inbox. It's titled "Scary Story." When I was in college, I got fake married to my hot friend, and during the vows, she told me because you get Greek married in fraternity and sororities. When I was in college, I got fake married to my
Will you
hot
explain
friend.
that? Will you explain that more? I don't think people know what that is.
So in sororities and fraternities, they do something, and I was in Gamma Phi, and he was in Kappa Sig. And what it is like it's an excuse to have a mock wedding so everyone can just get trashed, and you have it in the fraternity basement, and like 2 friends from one fraternity, one sorority get married, and it's a whole day of marriage, and they're like Greek families in the wedding, and that's like your big and little. Am I explaining this correctly?
You're doing great.
People, you've been to a lot of Greek weddings.
Never been to a single one.
Okay.
Don't have a desire to go.
They're a little embarrassing, but okay. So that happens. So when I was in college, I got fake married to my hot friend, and during the vows, she told the 200 plus people attending that we had sex, even though we didn't, and that I had an extremely tiny penis. People today still think it's true, and that person was me. That was me.
Wait, you did that?
I did that to him, and he just emailed me that. It was a scary
This is
story.
a horrible story.
Oh.
You told everyone this person had a tiny penis, and you don't even like the word penis.
Maybe we should cut that out, because that's kind of. It was a joke. Okay, here's what happens.
That's so mean.
You're supposed to make speeches, and you're supposed to roast each other, and they were roasting
You started
us.
like a real rumor. You didn't roast him.
We're cutting
You're
that
just-
because I don't want that in there.
You didn't like make a funny joke about him. You're just like, hey, this thing is true
That's
about
not
this
what I
person.
wrote a poem, and I was
Hey,
like,
do you guys want to hear something that's true
I
about
didn't even
this
say we
guy?
had sex. I wrote a poem, and I was like, he's got a tiny wang, and his skeet can't even grow a tiny flower in the grass or something.
Is that a poem? Is that what you think a poem is?
Slant poem. We're gonna cut this whole thing out.
So
because
hold on. He emailed you that story being like, isn't this crazy that someone did
is
this
a
to
scary,
me?
This was his scary story.
And you're the one who did it.
Guess so.
The scary part of this is what you do to your friends.
No, I wasn't proud.
Just kidding.
Of it.
You're a very good friend. That's why this is so surprising.
I know, that's why we're gonna cut it out. No one can know.
Are you for real gonna cut this out?
Yeah, no one can know how evil.
No, leave this in.
Okay.
People need to see how human you are.
I literally didn't even mean to say that he had a tiny wang. I just was like, it was a poem. I'll have to retrieve it.
I think people would like to hear the poem. I think you're known. One of your best qualities is what a good friend you are.
I'm a great friend.
And I think this is why I'm so shocked by this.
I'm a great friend. It was a joke. You should hear
What's
what
his
they were
say?
saying.
Say his full name on the podcast.
Austin Spar.
Okay, Austin Spar. Do you want to now have an updated message to Austin Spar?
He's got a tiny penis. And everyone listening, he's still got a tiny. Anyways, we should end on a scary story.
As a man, that this horrifies me. As a comedian,
It's pretty scary. It's a pretty scary story.
It's a very scary story. As a comedian, I love that you're doubling down.
It was just a roast.
I love that you're committing to the bit.
That's why I never roast. It's because I don't mean to say these things. They just happen.
Do you go
under
too
pressure.
hard in roast?
No, I just panic and say something I don't mean. And it's like, of course he doesn't have a tiny. Well, I have no idea if he actually has a tiny penis.
Austin Spar, right? Austin Spar might have a tiny penis.
He might have a giant hog.
Or he might have a big old hog under
big
the
old
hood.
hog.
There's genuinely no way to tell.
No way of knowing.
Well, we could.
FaceTime him. I'm just kidding. How many minutes do we have left?
Oh, we have like probably like 8 to 10.
So we should end on a scary story.
Yeah, you want to do a scary story?
Yeah. I just show his hog. And then it just closes out.
Where is it?
Where's his hog?
I can't see it.
Oh, the story? Geico's emailing me. It's giving me anxiety. So,
We'll deal with that later. I use Geico too.
You do?
Mhm.
Okay. So the
Jake?
thing about
I think we're Liberty Mutual right now.
We, the royal we,
I'm codependent. I'm like,
still in the family plan.
oh yeah, dude.
Smart.
do you want a scary story? Do you want a
Phone plan too.
Yeah. Oh, I'm privileged as fuck.
What phone plan you on?
We're on T-Mobile.
I'm
Okay.
privileged as fuck. We're on T-Mobile.
got your
I
own phone
love
plan?
that. Yeah, I know my family won't let me be on there, so I'm not
You
privileged.
using too much data?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at Geico.
That's why I
They're
got
calling
kicked
me
off.
now. Do you love when they don't call me when I'm reaching them for hours and I film one podcast and they're all up my asshole?
Get out of my asshole, Geico.
Get out of my asshole, Geico. But get right in there.
Get
Get right
or
in there.
or Geico, stay in my
Hey, you know what's
asshole.
crazy, Geico?
Geico, you can hang out in my asshole.
Girl up there. Okay, so do we want a scary story from Reddit?
Let's get some
or
liquid death
there's
into my
also a
asshole.
site called ADD. It's like Attitude, but it's ADDI.
Added like attitude.
And it's like things that people with untreated ADHD fuck over life. There's
Yeah,
like-
let's hear that. I want
Okay.
to hear the accidents that people with ADHD get into.
and then we'll tell the next podcast is going to be dedicated to scary stories. We'll start our October scary story podcast
October.
next podcast. And my aunt's calling in with a horrific story.
Do you do things that you think endanger yourself because of your ADHD? I would
Absolutely.
imagine driving.
Driving. People with ADHD are more likely to or double the amount to die than people without it. 'Cause
Double? You better be careful throwing around big statistics like that.
so picture Spar's penis. Picture two
Oh, I
of
can't
them.
even. I can't. It's so small, I can't.
So double down. No, double the amount.
Do you guys call him Spar?
Yeah.
That's a good last name.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
Spar.
He's the kind of guy who calls me and's been like, "Ha, my dad just bought a Subaru." I'm like, "Why the fuck would I care about that?" He's like, "'Cause you're a husband."
Oh, Austin Spar doesn't have very nuanced humor.
Yeah,
it
it's
appears.
pretty funny. We had to cut that.
Okay.
Too. Okay, so untreated ADHD almost cost me my wedding ring. After 2.5 months of marriage, I finally have a wedding ring. Back in early October, when Sean and I started talking about getting married, I contacted a custom jeweler. How do you say it? Jeweler.
I got into Juilliard.
Jeweler. I contacted.
I used to work at
at
Cash for Gold. Unrelated, but kind of related.
Honestly, with that shaved head.
What? I was a bank vault thief. My first job was working at Cash for Gold.
Was it really?
Yeah, divorced women would bring their wedding rings in, and we'd appraise them and give them cash.
Wait, is this real?
I swear. First job.
Who are you? What are you talking?
I'm a layered individual.
Wait, how old were you?
I was like 14.
We were in college together all these years. You never told me.
Didn't come up. You didn't have any gold for me.
Okay, I'm dead. After oh wait, I already read that. I contacted a custom jeweler, and
It got worse. Okay.
about making a ring for us. He was very personable, as people with ADHD are. And I was impressed with his work samples and approach to custom design. He appeared to be a gifted and talented artist who understood exactly what I was looking for. He said he could have the rings done in 10 days, tops. So I hired him. 10 days turned into 2 months. Sean and I decided on a New Year's Eve wedding. I was starting to get nervous about not having the rings in time.
Real quick, what do you think about a New Year's Eve wedding? Do you think that's a cool idea or annoying to your friends?
It's a good idea because no one ever knows what to do on New Year's Eve. Like, it's always
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like everyone's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" No one knows. Like, someone make the plan.
But you people, I think, usually are sad at New Year's Eve. I think going to a wedding would make you happy.
Exactly.
I'm going to a New Year's. Gong.
Oh.
Your future partner appears.
Yeah, if you're
Oh, I mean,
with someone right now, Danny. Okay, we've cut a
sorry.
lot out of this podcast.
I'm sorry, I
Just
forgot.
kidding.
I almost said the ghost of Christmas past, and that didn't make sense. So I corrected. Also didn't make sense. All right, so this person's making wedding. I'm with someone right now, Danny.
Hey, Danny, I
I'm
have
sorry,
a partner.
I forgot. When you're in a bit, sometimes you forget.
So, anyways, New Year's Eve wedding. I was starting to get nervous about not having the rings in time. The jeweler gave me one excuse after another. My water heater broke.
That doesn't seem like a reason not to make a wedding ring.
That's an awful reason. A storm blew over my giant bougainvillea plant. The fuck? Another client needs her rings ASAP to show her parents when they came into town. Oh, and by the way, did I mention I have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder? It actually made me feel better when he mentioned his ADHD. Then I knew we were talking about time management, difficulties, and not fraud. He suggested that I call him every day to check on the status. Need the reminders, he said. So that's what I did. After about 8 more phone calls, he said...
That sounds crazy.
Yes. After about 8 more phone calls, he said the ring was finished and I would have it in 2 days. 2 days came and I went... No. 2 days came and went, so I called him again. Oh, your package got lost in the back of my wife's minivan. It'll go out tomorrow. The ring finally arrived 10 days before the wedding, and it didn't fit. I was nervous but agreed to send it back. He promised to resize it with a minor correction to the setting, and overnight it with plenty of... So he promised to resize it.
This isn't... I don't think it's that crazy. People with ADHD thrive on deadlines.
Yeah. Really?
Like in pressure? Like if the wedding's coming up?
Oh, that's true.
Don't you do that?
Or I shut down. No, I shut down.
Oh, really? I come to life.
No, I do. I get distracted and I'll shut down. It'll take... Wild. It'll take 2 minutes, he said, so back it went. More daily phone calls. I got an email on December 29th at 3 a.m. telling me he had just finished the ring. It arrived on the 30th, the day before the wedding.
Fuck yeah. Tell me this
My
guy came
beautiful powder blue stone had been replaced with a piece of junk that looked more like coal than a sapphire, and it had a chip in it. The setting was worse than before. I was horrified. When I called to find out what happened, he said, "Oh, send it back after the wedding and I'll fix it for you." We set a date to make sure he had room in his schedule and the ring wouldn't be sitting on a shelf, and back it went again.
This lady's really trusting this guy.
Yeah.
This crazy guy. If I asked someone to do a task and they said, okay, I'll do the task, but you got to call me every single day, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to find someone else to do this.
No, and the moral of the story is he never sent her back the ring. And
Yeah.
then her last words were,
His last words, did he die after this?
she's going on a tangent about how he needs coaching skills. Oh, she's an ADHD coach. Who
How
that
did
was
she
the
not-
person
Way to
read.
bury the lead on this.
Perhaps the most frustrating thing about all of this is untreated ADHD. Not so much of my own ordeal, although that was very frustrating, but the acknowledgement that this
She
guy
was
is
an-
doing absolutely nothing to help himself. As an ADHD coach, that breaks my heart.
She was an ADHD coach the whole time?
time.
And did nothing?
Yeah. And she goes on tangents. So I guess that wasn't the best story, but it was. I mean,
No, this is interesting. What do you think
we
about
should read
that?
stories like this more often on the pod.
Yeah.
And I think we're at time, too.
Wolf just told me we had 10 more minutes.
Oh, really?
Okay, I want to talk about the story.
Okay. But I feel like there was a little more I cut out because of the
Do you want to share any more about it?
She said the moral of the story is that having ADHD is only debilitating if you choose not to do anything about it.
That's a little.
There are
annoying.
solutions. Things will only improve when you decide to start looking for them.
That's now what she's annoying.
And
me.
if she's an ADHD coach, I don't want her to be mine because that's a little intense.
I feel like that's a little high and mighty.
Yeah.
But
She
he
said
did-
it could have been solved if he slept well, ate well. I still don't think he would have finished your ring if he was sleeping well and exercising.
This guy, also, these problems don't sound ADHD related. This guy sounds like he's a terrible jeweler.
Yeah, he's a terrible jeweler
Like,
who's
I've
making
never-
up excuses.
I've never gotten distracted and replaced a ruby with a sapphire.
That's wild.
You know what I mean?
I have.
That's right. But you used to be a jewel heister.
Yeah. Adam Sandler's movie, that's about me.
Is that a movie?
I don't know.
Jewel heister?
Yeah, it was Uncut Gems. I had to leave the theater. It was too stressful.
It's very stressful.
Yeah. Then I heard
Safdie brothers make stressful movies.
No, I do. Oh, everyone.
Did someone tell you?
Yeah.
Have
Everyone,
you seen Good Times? Kind of same tone, same directors. Also stressful. Very good though.
very good.
Well, if you got a favorite movie,
I've never seen any of those.
I like it when people have
But I like,
sequels as favorite movies.
the 80s would have been a cool era. I would have loved to be in the 70s.
Man. Oh, the 70s would be cool.
Yeah.
Jake, you got a favorite movie? What would you have done in the 70s? Would you have wanted to live there?
I like the clothing.
Would you have gone to Woodstock?
Yeah.
70s, 60s?
I like that we got a little tail end where we didn't have phones. Like, life was good before the internet and all that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, people were getting murked more, but like, we weren't reading about it.
People were getting murked more. Jake, favorite movie?
Maybe not my favorite, but I do love Team America World Police. That movie fucking. Fuck yeah.
What if
Okay.
Jake was like Fortnite? Because he's.
It's true. I'm like 2 years too late.
That would have been so funny if he had said that. Wait, that would have been fucking crazy.
If he said that, that would have fucking been the
That
perfect
would-
note
Wait, Audrey,
to end on.
Audrey, that would have been insane.
Would have just.
Okay, I've never seen that movie.
Oh, really?
Mm-mm.
I'm a big South Park nerd, so.
Okay. Is Back to the Future 2 the Wild West?
No, that's the third one. The part 2 is where they go to 2015.
I haven't seen that one. Seen the first and the third.
Yeah, see the second one.
I gotta see the first.
You want to watch the first together?
Sure.
That'd be so fun.
Yeah. Call it a date.
You got a favorite movie?
I'm just kidding.
Am I your future
Yeah.
partner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you grow your.
I don't know if you've
hair
heard,
out.
but people don't like it.
No, it's not true, Danny.
I
So
don't think it looks
a
good.
model
Well, if
scout
you like
picked you up.
You like this haircut?
Yeah, I've shaved my head like that.
Please be honest. I think I look worse.
Danny, your insecurities are really coming out in this pod, and I hope everyone picks you
I'm
up.
trying to show that I'm a human who feels.
I hope everyone picks you up. But every time I say comment below, literally it's just someone like jamming the van itself being like, woo! And that's it. I'm like, tell me your thoughts. Leave a comment below. And it's just literally Jay on the van being like,
Love
great.
this.
Yeah. Love you guys.
Did you already say your favorite movie? You got one?
Fuck.
Come on, you have to. Have one.
know.
Any movie?
I like
Name
Freedom
a
Riders.
movie?
That really made me cry a lot.
Freedom Riders is your favorite movie?
Yes.
Okay. Were you watching TNT on a Sunday and you're like, I love this?
I loved it. I thought it was really good.
Okay, I want to talk about that story for a second.
Okay. We got to end it.
Okay. How much time do we have left?
We got like 7 minutes, 10 minutes. Because I started the cameras later or earlier when you guys got in.
Okay.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
We'll go 10. Count down from 10.
Yeah. But this is a cool website. Not a cool website. It's actually a savage website. It's like literally everything with people with ADHD or ADD and ADHD do wrong, and people who have to reap the consequences because of what these ADHD people
I feel
have
like
done.
that'd make me sad.
It made me really upset, but also laugh really hard.
Because I'm already concerned about what the ramifications of my ADHD are having on the people in my life.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I feel like that would just add more fact to my theory.
No.
What do you think? What do you think?
I mean, I think that's like her not having her wedding ring on time by a
but that's
jeweler
like-
who says he has
that's
ADHD.
crazy.
That's
That-
insane.
that guy just sounds bad at his job.
Yeah.
Like replacing the stone.
Yeah. I think she was like gonna take him to court or whatever, because I think she's
Ooh,
still
she's
gonna
gonna take him to
back.
court?
Take him to court.
And then what's she gonna do?
That's what I told Geico. I was like, I'm gonna take you all to court. They're like, that's
No,
not how this works. We're on your team.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
was gonna say,
oh, okay.
Geico's really helping you out.
Okay, well, we're all going to court.
What do you think? What do you think are the things that people in your life are affected by your ADHD?
This is sad. What if I just start crying?
No, it doesn't have to be.
No, you're right.
It can be funny.
I think my disorganization, like, I held up all my. That's why it's nice living alone, because if I lose my keys, I'm only holding myself up
Losing
for a
your keys
half
a lot?
hour. But I used to hold everybody up. I'd be like, lost my keys. We would miss an Uber, like, because I was looking for my keys, or like,
So it's
when
all. Is
I
it all
ordered an
keys
Uber, my
based?
phone was always dead. My roommates and I in college was so funny. We never got in any arguments, which is a miracle. But my space was always so messy, and some of their clothes would always like morph into my. They'd be like, "Where's my tank?" And I'd be like, "Probably in the
In the
hellhole." And
in
they
the
would just
monster
like dig through it,
pile.
and they'd be like, "Here it is." It's like at the bottom of my monster clothes pile.
But you're also very likable, so I'd imagine that people are like frustrated, but they're also like, man, but we like Audrey.
No, I also feel like I have very chill friends. Like I feel like I like because I'm that way, but I know they're just being nice. Yeah, maybe just being nice.
Yeah.
Who knows? I try not to do it as much as I can. I've tried to grow up, but you know how
Are you
that
late a lot?
goes.
Or punctual?
No, I'm pretty punctual actually, because that's like the one thing I can control. No, unless I lose my keys, then I'm late. What about you?
I'm late a lot. That's the thing that I think affects most people in my life,
Yeah.
and they let me know about it.
Yeah.
There's a thing called Danny time.
You're running on Danny time.
They're like, are you?
DT.
They're like, how? Like, when will you be here? And I tell them, and they're like, is this real time or is it Danny time? And it's almost always Danny time,
That's so
which is
funny.
usually on a 10 to 15 minute delay.
That's really fucking funny.
But I would be like late, like if I'm supposed to be there at like 2,
Yeah.
and I'm going to be there at like 2:20, I'll be like, at 2, I'll be like, hey, I'm 5 minutes away, because I think that'll make them less mad at
Oh
me.
yeah, that's exactly what I
'Cause
did too.
I think they'll be less mad at me because they're like, oh, well, he's 5 minutes
And
away.
then they have you on Find
but
My Friends.
then when I'm not there,
It makes it even
then when I'm
worse.
not there at 2:05, oh boy, do they get even more mad.
That's so funny.
I just realized that like
As you're saying it
like
right now.
3 months ago,
Yeah.
and so now I give more like I'll be there at 2:20.
That's hysterical.
Yeah, but I thought I was doing like a good thing.
No, I understand that. It's
You know
like
what I
you're gonna
mean?
calm
I'm
them
like,
for
no,
10
no,
seconds.
don't
in
worry,
the
I'm only
moment.
5 minutes away.
They need them track your location and they know you're lying, because they could be like, "Hey, Danny, we see that you're actually."
I'm like, I'm
in
on
Ohio.
in Indiana. I'm like, I'm on Meridian, and they'll be like, you're clearly in the shower.
You're
We can, we can see you're not, and
You're not on Meridian
you're in
Street.
the west corner of your home.
That's so. Isn't Meridian Street like our main big street? That's so funny.
Yeah.
In all the state of Indiana.
Yeah,
That's so funny.
I'm making real geographical references here.
Yeah.
Regional.
Regional.
My references are extremely regional.
Which is good. We have a lot of Indiana listeners.
Yeah, you got any other things that you do, or any situations, any things from your ADHD that you are worried like could get you into danger, like you're talking about?
Yes, like I said, most deaths, like the majority, it's confirmed the majority of accidents, people dying from like faulted car accidents, all have like ADHD. It's like very like, I think there's been a couple times where
Have you caused an accident?
no, but I can sense sometimes when I'm like, if I'm like getting like an EDM song's playing, I'm getting really worked up in the car, and the drop's about to hit. I'm
And
like,
you're like, something's gonna
something's
happen.
gonna
Something's gonna
yeah,
happen.
my foot is
I'm about to
accelerating
fucking
a little
hit
bit.
something.
You never know. But also, I think my lack of paying attention sometimes. The only time I'm really like,
well, it's
when
like
I'm
you're
with
looking
kids,
at a.
I'm 100% the most focused I've ever been. I'm literally like, because I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
how I can be.
But are you looking at billboards and stuff?
Yes.
Colorful billboard. Oh my god. I
Fucking
wanna.
Sunset Boulevard.
I want to. Even like a nice view. I'm like staring. I'm like immediately distracted.
Also, like a lot of the homeless population are doing wild things. And
Yes.
I find myself looking at them a lot. So
Okay.
while I'm driving.
There are. I think LA is. There's a lot of distractions.
I lit my
a lot
sleeve
of-
on fire
a
when I
lot
was
of-
cooking.
A lot of like sidewalk distractions.
Stop, drop, and roll does not work, at least in
Sorry,
my
what?
opinion. I lit
Were you
my
on fire?
Yes, I was on fire. I had a.
What? Hey Audrey, when were you on fire?
So I guess I am a danger to myself. And I was.
No, hold on. When were you on fire?
Oh, literally, I was babysitting like 2 years ago, and I had an old sleeve, and I was making a quesadilla, and my sleeve caught on fire. And I literally stopped, dropped, and rolled, and it didn't get out. And one of
God, I
the
would
kids
love
take
to
a
have
bunch
seen that.
of water and poured it on, and it
I
that's
think
what
if like
burned it
just
out.
your arms on fire, you
Yeah.
don't need to stop,
Yeah,
drop, and roll.
yeah, I didn't feel it. It was a thick sweater, but I think maybe I still have the sweater just because of the hole for fun stuff. I'll try to send you a picture.
How long were you on fire for?
Not very long. Literally having very clack. Although the stop, drop,
Very-
and roll kind of took a lot
It
of
was
time.
having very quack.
Clack.
Yeah. Did the children put you out?
Yeah, children put me out.
This is like, isn't this like a scene in Mrs. Doubtfire? I think that's.
What if I just like it was quoting
You're
Mrs.
like-
Doubtfire scenes the entire time?
You're like.
Well, I guess I'm Mrs. Doubtfire. Call me Mrs. Doubtfire. Anyways,
One time I was driving, I made and ate 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
you made what?
I made
2 peanut butter jelly sandwiches while you were
and
driving.
ate 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
How the fuck did you do that? You're just driving and you're just. What are you doing?
I was driving with my knee.
Okay. I'm a knee driver too sometimes.
Yeah.
We
Do you-
all need driving here. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
do it too?
Yeah. Yeah, when he does that.
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Yeah.
Also impressive.
Could roll a joint too.
Can you
Yeah,
really?
you could.
Have you done it?
Legally in California, you could probably do that.
I don't think that's true. In fact,
You heard it here first,
in
guys.
fact,
You
I
can
know.
do that
in
legally
fact,
in California.
I am positive that's not true.
Jam the Band's the pre-blow.
Jam the Band will help you with any legal fees associated with this. It is on record. Do you think I made the 2 sandwiches at one time, or do you think I made one sandwich, ate it, then made another?
Would you?
When I was making my sandwiches, so I made 2. I made 2.
It's a math problem.
Yes. So 2 sandwiches are on a train.
Yeah.
Do you think I made the 2 sandwiches and then ate them both at once?
Yes.
Or do you think I made one, ate it, made one, ate
No.
it?
No. You made them both, and you shoved them down your pipe frantically.
On the old pipe. Shoved them down the pipe.
Yeah, that's what you would
No,
do.
I made them individually. I made one, ate it, then was like, that was really good.
I think you're like a serial killer ADHD person. Like,
Why do you think that?
because you're very like, this is how you talk, very calm, and like you like some ADHD people are like woo woo, and you're like the serial killers that have ADHD because you talk like this. You're like, I made 2 separate PB&J sandwiches while I'm driving. Which
I'm
makes-
calculated.
yeah, which makes me think
I
you're
think-
gonna kill me.
I think in my head it's like more crazy ADHD, and I've tried to like funnel it into more intelligible.
If you murder me after a not podcast episode, your guys' views would go way up.
Oh, that would be cool.
That'd
that would
be
be
cool
good.
for you guys.
That would be good pub.
You guys really have helped us out with a lot. So Danny, if you want to do that,
That'd be great pub. I don't want to murder you.
it's okay. My car's in shambles. What am I
If
supposed
you
to do
had
without a
if
car?
you had to die, how would you die?
In my sleep.
Really?
Or by a car,
No
or by
way.
exhaust from a car, because I think you.
What? No, I'm not. Like if you had to go out
Yeah.
and you can pick any way to go out,
If I were.
it'd be something simple like that. Is it gonna happen right now? Is it gonna happen right now? No one help her.
Could you imagine? That's how I just died.
I would be killed. I would be killed by O.J. Simpson. Is how I'd want to die.
Are you? What is you with O.J. Simpson? We've ended every podcast with you talking about O.J. Simpson.
Wouldn't that be a crazy?
We literally have ended every podcast
like
without
one
O.J.
other time. Wouldn't that be an awesome way to die? To go out.
No,
to
he's
put,
he literally he's angry. Like he was like if he did it.
I don't want to go out in my sleep. Snoozeville.
What are you talking about?
I'd like that would be like such an interesting way to die, and would really close the loop on like a decade-long saga. I think that'd be a cool way to die.
I am mortified. Yeah, but then you'd feel insane amount of pain.
Oh, for like a little bit.
Danny's like, I have the highest pain tolerance in my family.
People with red hair have higher pain tolerances. That's true.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Um,
Satan?
Well, they torture them, and then they torture a normal person. And then it's kind of word of mouth after that.
I'm going to tell my sister that. She has red hair, but then she'll yell at me. She'll be like, I'm not even that much of a ginger. She's a ginger.
A lot of people have been saying ginger to me lately.
I don't. Is that bad?
I think it feels like it's derogatory because at one time in my life it was. You're talking about South Park. In 6th grade, the South Park Gingers Have No Souls episode came out.
That's so funny.
And at
That,
that
I'm
time
sorry,
in my
that was
life,
so funny.
It was very much derogatory. So
Right.
now when everyone says it, now I'm like, you're like them.
You're like them.
You're just like them.
You're just like them. And on that note,
That was exactly 10 minutes.
that was exactly 10 minutes. You guys, thanks for listening to No Pill Friday. Danny Dunn, me. We're going to have my Aunt Jill on the next episode. Like,
Guys, come back next week for Aunt Jill.
you have to come back for Aunt Jill.
She's
It is-
actually
no, you-
actually wild.
No,
you're going to want to come
have
back
to
for next.
for Aunt Jill. I know we said we were going to do scary stories, but that car accident was a scary story. And
I think so.
Danny getting scouted by a model agent, that's terrifying. So we
That is terrifying that's what the fashion industry is looking
No,
for.
we know you would literally rock any GQ magazine. We love ya. We'll see you next week.
It feels good to be me. Every time I breathe, everywhere I go, well, I always know that I'm always me. Feels good to be free.